Welcome once again to the Sage, and thank you for having been our companion on this journey, on this wonderful journey. We on set in the Sage are excited. We've entered a new phase of the journey. A few weeks ago, we put out a call for action. Action for everybody in the world, but more specifically for our fellow Nigerians. We need to wake up and accept the reality that we are a good people. We're richly endowed, human resources of all types, and that our real destiny, our future, should be one of coming together, using the resources and the talents and the creativity, the passion, the determination, the handwork that is indeed inherently ours, and making our country a better place. In line with this, with that call to action, which we know many of you must have seen, we have decided as our contribution to this national effort to discuss various sectors on this show, various sectors of our country, of our economy, education, health, legal, name it, as part of the national discourse we think should go on. But today, we've entered a new phase. One that is perhaps the heart of what we do as the Sage, as C4C, where we are turning to our young people and asking for their input, asking that we learn from their wisdom, asking that they discuss and tell us their needs as we move into this important future that should be ours. And so on the Sage, we honor this promise by setting in place a youth group, which will become a regular part of the Sage. These amazing young people discussing together will tell us their own take on the various sectors. I promise you personally, as your host on this show, on this journey, that they will wow you. We say our young people are our tomorrow. They are. But in reality, they are even more our today. We don't intend to make the mistake of forgetting to listen to them. So, make sure you come back and remain with us as you enjoy this very first episode of the Young People discussion, and also follow the many that will come in the life of the Sage. Thank you. Stay with us in the next segment where you will meet some of these wonderful young people. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the youth segment on the Sage. I'm sure you're surprised, right? Well, you've heard the Sage introduce a new wave of discussion that will be happening on this show. And we feel, why do we talk about what is going to be affecting the highest population in the country and not involve those population itself in the conversation? Something will be wrong. Which is why we felt it passionate enough that the youth segment should be introduced on the Sage. With this new wave of discussion, we want to make sure that every young person is prepared for 2023. Why? Because we have the opportunity to define our future for the next 4 years. We have the opportunity to determine who we want as leaders and who we want out. But when you're not rightly informed and when you're not sure of what decisions to make, the tendency to make the wrong one is really high. which is why the Sage is here at this point in time. It is time for every young person within the age of 18 to 40, maybe 45, to be well informed of what is going on in each sector. And what the Sage is doing right now is not just bringing in stakeholders in those different sectors, because we're taking it one issue at a time. We're bringing in the young people themselves. We want to hear your voices. You deserve a platform where you're heard, and everybody needs to know that this is where the shoe is pinching. So that's why we're here. This is the reason for the youth segment on the Sage Show. So welcome. So yes, my name is Omolade Ogunlela, and I am your anchor for this show. And today, we are discussing a very important issue. I believe this was the best topic to start with. How do you have a youth segment and not discuss about the situation of young people themselves? We need to start with us. What hurts us? What grieves us when you wake up every morning in this country, Nigeria, and you're just like, God, please teleport me out of here to somewhere else? It's because there are issues on ground that are hurting. There are things that have broken the hope and the spirit of young Nigerians. And that is what we want to discuss today. There are over 55 million young people in Nigeria that are broke. When I mean broke, I mean brokers. Broke. No help. No source of income. No hope. Why won't the suicide rates be high? Why won't we have mental health issues? Why won't the high intake of drugs be on the high level right now? It's because people are tired. They wake up in the morning and there's no fire, there's no intensity to live. And that is the state of many young Nigerians right now. And it's just sad because more than 50% of our population are young people. So when there's an uprise of loss of hope, then the whole country is in chaos. It is time we get something done. So I won't bug you with my own comments. I'll leave it to our guests on the show today. The Sage has done a very excellent, splendid introduction of this new wave of discussion. So let's get into it. Welcome back. So today on the youth segment, our very first episode, are three amazing people. Conversations for Change, our production team responsible for the Sage. We have a global entrepreneurship fellowship program that has been running for over 4 years now. We are presently in our 4th batch. And through this program, we have produced amazing, vibrant, young Nigerians who have soared through every ordeal that has been thrown at them. Yes, with the support from our team, but just to show you that when the right support and empowerment is made available, there's no limit to what a young Nigerian can do. And they are our evidence, they are our proof of that. And today we have 3 of them on the show for our first episode on the youth segment. So I'm going to introduce them briefly and we're going to get right into the topic. So to my very left, we call her our senior prefect, our class captain. She's our first success, I would say, of the C4C entrepreneurship program. She gives us so much joy. Her name is Ngozi Roland.
Okay.
Yes, I was getting to that. I always have problem with the last name. Ngozi Roland.
Okay.
Yes. She's the CEO of Sem Spices. I must say that her story is one of courage and one of strength, and of course, resilience. From 4 spices, that's what she started with in 2018. In 2022, Ngozi Roland has 21 spices from her company. That is success. ranging from different partnerships and different opportunities she has had within this 4 years. It's amazing her growth. But beyond that, she's a young Nigerian. And she knows where it pinches. So, Ngozi, we are glad to have you on the show today. So also, on my left, right beside me here, is an amazing gentleman. We call him our fish farmer, but fish farmer with an excellence. I remember the first time we had him on the Sage Show. The way he spoke was splendid because he shared the heart and the passion of young people, saying that it's not just hard work, but there need to be opportunities made available. And he was well knowledgeable to share some in the agricultural sector that was made available. So Mr. Eric James Ochibo, CEO St. James Pond. So if you're in Abuja and you need fish, he's your plug.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Definitely not the least. Anything hair, she's your plug. I remember when she came to the show. Let me point out that the three of them on the show today are alumni of our first ever batch of the C4C Global Entrepreneurship Program. So they've been with us for a while and they've seen the process, not just the process from our point of view as an empowerment organization, but they've been through every single process every young Nigerian and entrepreneur is going through. We are not ignorant of what's going on right now. That fuel prices have gone up. Things are expensive. The inflation right now is crazy. And I'm wondering, how is an SME surviving in this period? And we know for fact that the SMEs are the ones that are going to build this country from ground up. So what's going on? So she's going to share her point of view as a thriving entrepreneur in the middle of the storm, I have to say. Miss Teresa Marcus.
Oh, thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I have introduced our guests. Let the discussion begin. Welcome back. So I will start with Eric. A lot is going on, we know. But I want to hear your thoughts. As a young Nigerian in this country, what hurts you the most? Let's talk about what hurts you as a young person in Nigeria.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's wonderful to be here. What hurts me the most as a young Nigerian is the fact that the Nigerian youth is not seen as an asset vital to the survival of Nigeria, but to a very large extent, it's looked at as a liability. So whatever really concerns the youth does not really get the proper attention it should have. Take for instance, I have heard about ASU strike for more than 30 years of my life, but that have not been addressed. We've heard about many issues affecting the Nigerian youth. They won't be addressed. And it hurts me very well because I am a young Nigerian and I feel the pinch myself. If you go through history and even our current time, there is no way this country would get to where it wants to be without the youth. But if you go to our societies, our communities, those who are youth leaders are over 60, some of them. If you go to the political parties, those who are youth leaders are over the age of youth. They're in their 50s. So there's this exclusion we suffer as young people in our home country. In nation building, we are really excluded. And in another 20 years, whether we like it or not, these first generation politicians or first generation leadership we have would give way to this young generation. What then will become of our fate? What will become our fate when this happens? So that hurts me very well. And there is a need to make this turn around. There is a need for us to change this narrative and take the Nigerian issues very seriously, Nigerian youth issues very seriously. And it's not because Nigeria lacks the ability to do that. It's not that because we don't have what it takes to do it. I recall in 2013, 2014 or so, when the present Minister of Interior was governor of Osun State, his phone was stolen by a Nigerian youth, a 31-year-old Kelvin. And within a twinkle of an eye, he was jailed for 45 years. It then means that things can happen quickly in this country. It then means that ASU strike can be treated quickly in this country. It then means that if given the right attention, youth issues can be resolved in this country. 2023 is at the corner. You wouldn't want to imagine the amount of funds that will go into politicking and politics. But those same amounts would never be available to address, those same amount of money will never be available to address youth issues. They will never be there to create jobs. They will never be there to create training facilities for young people. Even sports, which is a very large sector to engage the youth. And so we are reduced to being thugs in political parties rather than make decisions. We are forced to become bandits as against our will. Because all these young people carrying weapons in the bush are young people. And I can assure you it's not what he or she wants to do, but when the preferable is not available, they say, the available becomes preferable. So we must channel energy to make sure that the Nigerian youth is not a burden. It is not a burden. It's an asset that must be invested in. And if I am to suggest, one of the first things we should do is to establish a youth development bank.
Let me cut you in. We're going to get into the solution, but let's talk about the problems. Ngozi, what are your thoughts?
Okay, like he mentioned, the ASU situation. For me, if those in leadership, their children are in public schools, you'll be amazed at the speed at which this will be reconciled.
True.
You know, I think recently a bill was passed or so that all public officers should not send their children abroad.
Abroad. Mm.
And the thing was taken as in, he didn't even get the second hearing or something. Do you understand? They are not affected. They don't feel what the average Nigerian feels. So it's only normal for them to take decisions as they deem. In fact, I don't even know the word to say. Because it's painful. Imagine a child who goes into school. In fact, these days, when you get admission into university, you are not even sure when you're going to come out. Not everybody is privileged to go to a private university or to probably go and school abroad. So these people are just there dealing with us the way they want because they can afford to take their children to better schools. So it's like they are governing a set of people that they are not feeling what they are going through.
But where do you think we missed it? Why should we keep having, because this is not an issue of now. We're talking way back, even 2010. This is like a decade-long issue, if not more. Where do we keep finding these leaders? Because the help starts from up. Where did even the leaders themselves, where did they miss it? How it is that they're not, I don't know.
I think it all boils down to the family. Let's start from the nitty-gritty, from the genesis of the issue, upbringing. Yes, a lot of people will say, of course you can teach a horse how to fish, or how do they say they read him, you know. A parent can bring up a child the way he or she thinks is right. It's not left for the child to decide to follow the path or to deviate. But what I keep saying is, as a parent, when you give birth to a child, you are meant to pay attention to that child. There are some traces you will see even from the childhood. That's true. Do you understand? Because most times they'll be like, but the mother, we know the mother, she's a Christian, she's this, she's that, you know. Yes, but there were traits. There is always a sign. Do you understand? So it's not enough to even teach them. You enforce it. Let them live. Let them understand why they should do this. And let them understand the benefit they will get or the punishment it will bring if they break this code or break this rule or whatever it is they are being taught. Because these leaders came from parents, came from homes. Do you understand? So yes, our parents, for instance, yes, our parents, they train us well and we go with the part and all that. And then we go to school. A lot of us, my time, when you're going to university, you're coming out knowing that government is either providing job or you're going to work somewhere. My dear, if you gain admission into university and
It's
you
a
are thinking
testimony.
there's a job waiting for you somewhere, you have to think again. No?
True.
Except maybe your father is somebody, or you have
true.
an uncle somewhere. Do you understand? Because the truth about it is, even this somebody or uncle, they are ranked. Where I served the Nexim Bank. So it's like, okay,
How long your own leg reach?
you know, so how long is your, you know? So, okay, even if your uncle is a senator or a House of Rep member, is he chair of a committee or something? When you cannot get something by merit, it is painful. When you spend your time, your energy to read, to come out the best, and you come out from school, you are looking for a job, you want to be a medical doctor to save lives, is a ministry to you, not just a job, and then you come out, of course, you don't have enough finance to start your own hospital, and you are expecting to work somewhere, and they are waiting for you to bring letter from Aso Rock or something. I mean, I've seen medical doctors who have turned business people. I have seen lawyers who have turned, because in fact, it's not encouraging. But yes, like I tell people, see, we are saying our government has failed us. The next stage is, what do we do?
What do we do?
To come out of this thing, to empower ourselves. So from university, from childhood, start teaching them entrepreneurship.
Yes.
When they are on break, let them go for IT somewhere.
I'm going to cut you also. That solution. Teresa, let's hear you. What are the problems of young people in this country?
The truth of the matter is that I don't think any youth should just come up and, first of all, you can't give what you don't have.
That's good.
Number one. Now, people go to school, they buy their result, they do all kinds of things. And you don't expect that from that, we are going to have a good government in Nigeria today. A lot of people, traveled to Bios. So there's a place that by 6 o'clock, you have to go inside. Why? Because Yahoo, or you will be picked. And who are doing these things? It's the youth that are doing it. It's not those people in power. They only empower them, give them gun. Okay, tenure for gun is over. What do we do now? We go into Yahoo to get money. All about it is money. When I was growing up, my mom used to sing a song on my head. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And there's a place in the Bible that said, my child, forget not my law. Let your heart keep my commandment. I grew up that even when I sleep, that words are still there in my heart. You don't go out and stay outside. You remember, what will my mommy say? What will I tell my mom? So we start from the grassroots, the youth. We talk about it. Bring a child into this world. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You that bring a child into this world, you don't have anything to do. No work, no business, nothing.
So
how do you want to train the child?
Yeah.
So the child grow up on the street without no hope. What will I do? So of course, if I'm a child that grew up on the street, nobody to help me, and I see easy way to enter, I will enter because I need money to take care of myself. So that is what is going on in our country. If those we vote in as president, as governor, will sit down and think that if without education, there are other countries that a child born, they pay that child salary. You bring up these children, talk to them, ask them what they want, and you fix it up. It's not a must that everybody must go to school, but I can have a handwork. I'm a hairdresser. I paint workers too from there. I train people too from there, and they have something to eat. At the end of it, they come to work monthly, they get their salary, and they go. But if I can have somebody, what about if I didn't have somebody like this, like my madam that pushed me for C4C? What would have happened to me? I will still also be on the street. So government should know that it's not all about money. You impact something in someone's life that person will always live to remember. And it can also help it by giving it out to other people. So from there, we can be a better Nigeria.
Yeah. You know, just to add to what Teresa said, I remember when I was in university, there are some things you can't publicly Like, you don't have the courage to even come and say, I'm doing this thing. You'll be so coded because there was just, I don't know whether it's the term fear of the Lord, but you get this fear. Let me speak pidgin. You get this fear when you go day inside you. You say, you give yourself brain. Say, you just that maybe, I mean, you're a Yahoo guy or you're an Aristo babe. You even be the one, actually, you be the one in the front of the church and hallelujah, because hey,
you asked.
So why is it? It's not trending now.
You asked a salient question. Where did we miss it?
Yes.